Free Tyler Chase Butler. Calling it ding dong ditch. These dudes was banging on his backyard door at 3 in the morning on a Saturday. They're in his backyard long enough for him to retrieve a firearm and pit two of them down. Tyler Chase Butler need a bond. He need a bond and he need to be free. That's self-defense.
By the way, America, we the media.
Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Virginia teenager shot and killed by homeowner while recording a TikTok prank video. Let's check it out.
Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. Virginia County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found two people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
Yo, let's get to the nitty-gritty. These folks was kicking this dude's door at like 2, 3 in the freaking morning. That's not ding-dong ditch, bro. Are you smoking dope? I grew up in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I was a kid once. We played ding-dong ditch. Honestly, we played ding-dong ditch on broad day. You knew you weren't about to... No, that's what I'm saying. These kids these days have no sense. Pop's not actively involved. Mom not actively involved. Raised with an iPad phone. I don't care. Video games. I don't care. They're making terrible decisions. Irrational oversight. So y'all see how they didn't elaborate on exactly what they were doing in playing Ding Dong Ditch. If there is some doorbell cameras out there, any footage that actually caught it, we gonna go ahead and find that here on Your Average Black Man Pod.
The part that they failed to mention in this report was other homes in the neighborhood had been burglarized. And the community was speaking to each other about, hey, be careful. Homes are being burglarized in the area.
We went to a different source. Let's just have a good read here. Right? Tyler Chase Butler, a 27-year-old African-American man from Spotsylvania County, Virginia, has been charged with murder after fatally shooting 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr., a white high school senior who was in a backyard filming TikTok pranks with his friends around 3 a.m. on Saturday. The deadly encounter has ignited debate over race, self-defense, and the consequences of social media stunts going wrong. Social media stunts? I was a high school senior once. We was never running around at no 3 a.m. banging on people's door. Man, y'all better stop playing out here. According to NBC4 Washington, Butler was arrested and now faces charges of second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and 2 counts of using a firearm in the commission of a felony. Basically charges that will ruin this man's life, especially if he don't beat it. And in Virginia,
if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm.
Okay. Authorities say he opened fire on 3 white teens outside his home in Spotsylvania County, killing Bosworth and injuring another. A third teen was unharmed. Bosworth was a student athlete at Massaponax High School where he played football, lacrosse, and wrestled. According to police, the group had been recording a ding-dong ditch prank for TikTok, ringing doorbells and running away when the shooting happened. I don't think somebody's just shooting because you ringing the doorbell, bro.
So when he sees these 3 teens in his yard, ringing the bell or whatever they were doing,
they was
back
kicking
there.
the door. They claimed they was playing Ding Dong Ditch, right? Which don't even go like that.
No.
And it's
They were
3
kicking
and
the door?
Yes, like trying to kick in the door, and it's 3 in the morning.
Oh no, you're getting shot.
You're getting shot.
You're getting shot.
You are absolutely getting shot.
I agree that you're getting shot.
If someone's kicking down my door at 3 in the morning,
Fam, if you're at
It's
my
over.
house and you're not ringing the bell at 3 in the morning,
if you're ringing my bell at 3 in the morning,
If you ring it, I'm still reaching.
you're not getting shot.
You're not getting shot.
But if you doing anything around the grounds or any of that, my nigga, you have no reason to be in my house.
And
at
just to
3
be
o'clock in the
clear,
morning.
they do not know each other. The three guys and Butler do not know each other at all.
No, there's
No.
Okay.
There's no prior history as of this report.
So nobody's just shooting because you rang the doorbell. That ain't happening like that. There was that case of that old white dude that did kill that black kid for knocking on the wrong door. But it don't happen like that, man. Butler claimed he believed the teens were attempting to break into his home and called 911 to report a burglary in progress.
I said, hold on.
Burglary in progress.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office responded to the call of shots fired upon arrival. The surviving teens reportedly told deputies they were just filming pranks. One showed officers video as proof.
Night, police in the West Metro are investigating a prank that's putting homeowners on edge, and it's all caught on camera. Jennifer Hoff is here with more on what to look out for. Jennifer?
Lauren, it's a spin on the old ding-dong ditch that some of us may have done when we were younger, but instead of ringing doorbells and running away, the suspects are trying to kick in those doors. And in a similar case across the country, it's already turned deadly.
The sound is enough to scare anyone.
Yeah.
Even Chuck
Yeah, that's a big
Wilson
deal.
and his wife.
So I came out. Cheryl's heart's beating a mile a minute, and they're gone.
That moment, caught on camera, wasn't the first time you see these suspects strike. Neighbors saying they hit a dozen homes around South Lake Minnetonka, and even more videos prove it.
By the time I got out here, they had already hit some other houses, and the police had searchlights, and they're going up and down the street over here looking for the kids.
That police department confirming it's investigating, but says detectives don't know who's behind what's being called an old social media trend. Now coming with a new warning.
I want to encourage parents to speak with their teens.
Police say there could even be criminal charges associated with this crime, or worse.
Say it right now. I will say it with you.
3 teens, white teens,
White boys,
and the black man that.
So my question to y'all was going to be, do y'all feel like this man should have been arrested?
No.
It remains unclear why the boys were in Butler's backyard. They were in his backyard.
You don't find that suspicious?
Or whether he knew they were pulling a prank before opening fire. Neighbors told the reporters they were also frightened by the teens' behavior that night, with some fearing break-ins.
If they knock on the wrong door, they might get shot.
Just this week, police in Virginia responding to a burglary call arrested a man for allegedly shooting and killing an 18-year-old whose friends say was recording the same prank for a TikTok video.
So, okay, we have a shooting here, 3 in the morning. This person shot him. We arrest him. As the details come out, we drop the charges, and he should be cleared 100%.
I just looked up the Virginia law, so I think that it's a case by case basis. I think that depending on whatever the law is in your state, then they need to move accordingly. In Virginia, it says that you can use reasonable force in self defense when they believe that they're in imminent danger of harm. So if 3 dudes are trying to enter my house at 3 o'clock in the morning,
that's
after there's been mad break-ins,
That's the definition
you
of
getting
imminent
shot,
harm.
my nigga.
I'll say this. I would do the same thing he did, and I wouldn't hesitate. But legally, it just gets gray in terms of what constitutes imminent. Like legally, like imminent, if someone's not back kicking my garage door and I'm in the bedroom, that's not such imminent. Legally, I could still get away. I could still escape. Like you don't have a legal duty to or legal right to protect property. You can only protect yourself.
They weren't just ringing that damn doorbell or even just gently knocking on the door. There's one guy that says, fast and clear, you had teens who were basically kicking in this guy's backyard door and calling it ding dong dish. That's what I'm saying. You're kicking in someone's backyard door and calling it ding dong ditch. Are you serious? Yo, what? Exactly. That's something that folks ain't mentioning. No one's mentioning that, based on the fact that this kid was at Mr. Butler's house at 3 in the morning, that long enough for him to actually retrieve his firearm and shoot 2 people, that definitely makes me think that the kids were up to no good myself. Ding dong ditch is we out. Not so long that this man got time to retrieve firearms and kill two of y'all. Nah, these some guilty man. Watch out, bro. We ain't doing this on the average black man pod. Tyler Chase Butler need a bond. He need a bond and he need to be free. That's self defense. These dudes was banging on his backyard door at 3 in the morning on a Saturday, calling it ding dong ditch. They're in his backyard long enough for him to retrieve a firearm and pit two of them down. Nah, y'all trying to break into my house. That's self-defense. Free Tyler Chase Butler. If we need to get a petition going, we'll do it.
Do you think race play a role in this?
Absolutely. If this was reversed and it was 3 black kids, one of them ended up dying, it was a white man, they would never even think to arrest him. They would interview him at his home and they would let him fucking stay there.
No, they would process him.
I don't care what the color of the skin tone is. Y'all are 3 hoodlums trying to break into my house. 3 little hoodlums. Now let me get this out here. People do not work as hard as they do to afford homes in the suburbs to have some motherfucker running around at 3 in the morning, kicking their door in, trying to call it ding dong ditch. That ain't how that go, bro. It's simply not a place to be playing them games at all. This is coming from a kid that grew up in the burbs. Those people a lot of times be armed.
If they knock on the wrong door, they might get shot.
I learned growing up in the suburbs that you do not play games like that. In those neighborhoods, those people are closely connected a lot of the times. Growing up, the house that I lived in high school, my father was cool with the Asian dude, Mr. Sue, across the street, and he had military grade ish up in his house. Even as it pertains to the security parameters, this man had cameras that could see miles away. We was cool with the folks to the right of us and across the street from us. You would have broke into any one of them houses, you would have been gone so fast. You would have been kicking at the door, the back door of any of those houses at 3 in the morning on a Saturday in the neighborhood I grew up in going to high school. You would have been gone so fast. They're wrong. You don't play around like that.
So some of the homeowners we spoke to want the suspects to take responsibility for their actions or face charges. Southlake police say some of the homes there, they do have some damage, and there are upwards of about 4 suspects in these videos. Some of them are wearing hoodies, some are even carrying a paintball gun, and they're driving a distinct golf cart, Lauren.
These are hoodlums, man. The neighborhood that Tyler Chase Butler had this whole situation happen to him at is a fairly nice neighborhood. It's the suburbs. They're homeowners. They're paying mortgages. If you own your home, it's an investment. You're going to protect your investment. Other people live in your home. You a man, you're responsible for those lives. And you work to get there. Man, get out of here, bro. How are y'all out there reacting? Y'all let me know. Get in the comments with it. If y'all hear folks knocking, banging at your door, kicking at your door at 3 in the morning and it's your back door on a Saturday morning, and they doing it long enough to where you are able to completely arm yourself. What y'all doing about that? Shouldn't have been playing around in the birds, man.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost.
In the state that I live in right now, recently there was a case where a dude, his wife was cheating on him with a dude that owned a massage parlor. He went to the massage parlor and killed the dude. He left this bucket hat at the scene. The DNA is all in the bucket hat, tracing it back to this exact dude, and he still got a bail. But y'all gonna tell me that Tyler Chase Butler don't deserve a bail? Free Tyler Chase Butler.
Yeah, fuck we the media.